Welcome, everybody. We are back. We are here with a special Nerds uh, featuring Brandon Lee, a legacy that ended prematurely. This is Nerds 150 as we come to you all with a special Nerds. We talk about entertainment, music, movies, books, cultural aspects of our day-to-day lives. But this one is a little bit special because this is a man who was well on his way to extending a special sort of a legacy that was cut short. Thus, the title saying that ended prematurely, as Brandon lost his life at the age of 28, and he was just starting to get going. For those of you who may be in your 30s and above, just think about how young that is to be 28 years old and to lose your life. So, and his dad lost his life at 32. So, I mean, this is an amazing thing. Brandon was born February 1st, 1965, to an interracial couple, Bruce and Linda Lee. And he had the fortune of being in a household where he was amongst one of the most alpha males that you could think of at the time. Bruce Lee was quite a storm in the Americas, having come here at the age of 18, meeting his future wife, Linda Emery, and they having Brandon just a few years later. In 1959 is when he returned to the U.S. at the age of 24. So when you think about this, it's like it's some real. He didn't return at the age of 24. He started coming into prominence in Hollywood at the age of 24. I wanted to correct myself on that. It's the lifestyle. The lifestyle for an interracial couple at the time was not necessarily accepted by the masses. So you have to understand what Bruce, Linda, and little Brandon were going through. They say that he was born with blonde hair and had great gray eyes as a little boy, but the blonde hair fell out. And when it started growing back, he was a brunette. So isn't that something? You know, some of us have experienced that because there have been some of us who were born like with red hair and then it turns dark, you know, or whatever, or might have had dark hair that maybe even turned light. So, but I'm just kind of like filling people in on how American this family was and relatable. So, but welcome, Drew. How you doing this evening, man?
I'm doing blessed, man. I'm blessed, man. And looking forward to this conversation. He doesn't have a deep catalog. And when Brandon lost his life, I was in high school when that happened. I think that was 93-ish.
Yeah.
I was just coming out of high school when that happened. And I remember we was all like shocked. We was like, whoa, what the hell happened there? Conspiracy theories and things of that nature. But he left a bit of an impact with that last film, man, because that was the timing, and we'll get to that later, but the timing of that character, because in the 90s there was a resurgence of rock music. It was called grunge, and I liked it. I liked the grunge movement, and a lot of my white friends dressed like that. They had the wild hair and the fuzzy beards, and they played the guitar and things of that nature. It was their thing, and that character, the characters in that movie, they were catering to that genre, and it seemed like with that movie, Brandon Lee arrived. He arrived with that character, and everybody was looking forward to seeing, man, what's next with this? What's next with what is he gonna do? And that was his last film. But we're gonna talk about his body of work, however limited. And I always wondered what it was like being, you know, for a kid like him, what was it like being Bruce Lee's son? You know what I mean? What was that like? You know what I mean?
Funny you should ask. Brandon went through a great deal of conflict. You know, he was about 8 years old when his dad passed away. Mm-hmm. And you could understand that being witness to your dad being someone really special in Hong Kong at the time. When Bruce Lee passed away, he was the biggest star in Hong Kong.
Yeah,
there was no place he could go without crowds. There, you know, he couldn't go out for dinner or anything like that, or walk down the street, and never really ran into any issues in the streets or anything. But it was just, if you could imagine, paparazzi, Hong Kong style, always outside of his home, which was, I think they said the address was 41 something in Kowloon. The home that he lived in was a modest house that, for the Hong Kong culture, it was kind of considered a mini mansion.
Right.
But it was in Kowloon Tone, which means 9 Dragon Pond. Now, this is the funny thing about superstitious things. Bruce Lee was known as a child movie star as the Little Dragon, Lei Su Long.
Right.
When he and his producer Raymond Chow purchased the home that he lived in Kowloon, the home was weird because it was built backwards, meaning that when you drove through the gates of the estate, the door that you saw and the balconies and everything were really the back of the house. And the house, the front of the house, you did not see because it was, and they had these like 10-foot walls that in that area where homes lived. So there was privacy. You had a gate that closed, and then there were these like 10-foot walls. And on top of the walls, people had aligned the top of the walls with a lot of broken glass and stuff like that, so that if any intruders tried to climb up there, they would cut themselves and stuff, trying to get over that wall. And there's a story to that too. But the house was built, designed in a backward way. And Bruce Lee, who grew up in a home of superstition, where his dad, Lee Hoi Chun, was a man that was a opera star and an actor, he was very superstitious. So when Lee bought the home, feng shui experts were telling him, this house got a lot of bad feng shui, so you need to put some reflective mirrors in. They call them pakwa mirrors.
Right.
And the pakwa mirrors are supposed to ward off evil spirits and stuff like that in Chinese culture. I'm kind of explaining this story because Brandon was someone that Bruce was really looking to protect too. That was his son.
Right.
So, you know, he made sure that he kept him up with teaching him martial arts and things like that. And he would always take him around with him about town. Like when he visited the Shaw Brothers studios and stuff, Brandon was like right there with him.
Wow.
You know, although you see him in a few photos, you don't see him in all of the photos. Brandon was always either right there or just off in one of the actors or actresses' arms. You know, they be holding him or sitting on the lap or whatever, waiting, watching his dad take pictures and do interviews and everything like that. So Brandon had an idea especially when Bruce visited the Shaw Brothers studio, because Shaw Brothers was the biggest film company in Southeast Asia at the time. So he had a chance to witness films being made and everything, and people in costume and acting and all of that. So he wanted that. He wanted that for himself, you know, and to become that. He had learned Chinese through his dad's teaching, and also when they were enrolled in Edison School, which is a school that Bruce went to as a kid. He had enrolled Brandon and his little sister Shannon. I think Shannon is like 4 years younger. She and he picked up Cantonese and some Mandarin as they were living in Hong Kong at the time. When Brandon came of age and he wanted to try to pursue film career, you know, he had studied acting at Lee Strasberg Theater and Film Institute and Emerson College. But he returned to Hong Kong, where his dad's roots were, and he was kind of sniffing around for an opportunity to make films. And in '89, he was given an opportunity to star in a film called, in '86, he was a film called Legacy of Rage. And
I caught that one, yes.
Yeah, Legacy of Rage was his first real action type film. And the rest was history going forward for him. Now, some of the producers in Hong Kong, they wanted to snatch him up and, of course, play on the aspect of, oh, this is Bruce Lee's son, you know, let's make some movies with him, make some action films. He didn't necessarily want to do action films.
Right.
But he knew martial arts.
Right.
So, Legacy of Rage was a film that was made where there was action in there. I think Bolo Young.
Bolo Young was in it, yeah.
And what's his name? Michael. This guy was very popular at the time.
Michael Dudikoff?
No. It was a Chinese actor, Michael Wong. Michael Wong was a so-called Hong Kong Hollywood heartthrob at the time, roughly around the same age as Brandon. And it was a film where he, you know, I don't really think he liked playing co-star to Brandon because he was a little bit more established at the time.
Right.
But such was the case. But the film, directed by Ronnie Yu, who was one of the early 80s action film directors. He shot a lot of action using a lot of the old Hong Kong stuntmen for his films, and you can see some of these guys in the movie. Chan Hua Man is in there, who was known to be in a lot of Hong Kong films in the early 70s and late 70s. If anyone wants to know who Chan Hua Man is, that's the guy that played the Supreme Ninja in Chinese Super Ninjas, the guy that came out the ground with the tattoos on his body.
Chow Yun Munga, that was his name in the movie. Chow Yun Munga.
Yeah. So, you know, but Brandon had a chance to kickstart his film career with those people. And Chan Hua Man, who was a triad leader, kind of took, oh yeah, man. Michael Chan Hua Man was a triad leader and a real professional kickboxing champion in Hong Kong and China in the early 70s. So he was a real fighter.
Yep.
He knew Brandon's dad, Bruce, and they got along pretty good. And he kind of wanted to look out for Brandon. You know, there's so much, you know, to about this, but getting back to the Hong Kong home, Bruce Lee installed the Pakwa mirrors on top of the house.
Mhm.
There's even video footage of a Paqua mirror on his home, on the top of his home. And like I said, the Paqua mirrors are supposed to ward off evil spirits and stuff. But around the time that he died, there was a strong Hong Kong storm, hurricane that was stirring up. And it blew the Paqua mirror off of his home.
Mm.
And before he could replace it, he passed away. I'm talking about days later. You know, it's like they had this storm because there was this threatening storm brewing in Hong Kong days before he died, and it finally came in and it blew the mirror off of his home. And before he could replace it, he passed away. Now, people say that there were evil spirits haunting the Lee household because, one, he moved into a home that was designed, it was built backwards.
Mm.
Two, the home was in Kowloon Toon, which was 9 Dragon Pond, and he was a little dragon, so that the big dragons took him out.
You know what, man?
Listen. This is according to Chinese lore and culture. They believe in this stuff, bro.
Right.
I'm not trying, but I'm giving you this background because it explains why so much stuff was so iffy, you see. And then to find out that, you know, just what was it? 20 years later, his son passes away, you know, making a movie. You know, it's like, you can't make that stuff up. And I'm not trying to be morbid with it or anything, but I'm just kind of sharing because there are some people who don't know a lot. As I told you before, off camera, we talked, I said, dude, I know so much about this man's life and his story that it's like, I'm good with a lot of what I've found out in recent years, but there was always something about mystery. And I think the mystery comes too without knowing culture, you know?
Right.
Because when you know the culture, you can try to understand things a bit differently.
Yeah.
That's like a person that is not from here. They come here and they're only here a year or two. That's not long enough to know or learn what America is all about. You know what I mean? That's
true. Yeah.
Because you still ain't ran into somebody that can run that game on you. It's like,
yeah, that's real stuff.
You know, so, but yeah, the fact that he was able to kickstart his film career in Hong Kong was very interesting because he turned down karate and kung fu film roles. He turned down tons of those.
Mm.
He could have been one of those guys. He could have been a John Liu or Tan Tao Lang or one of those guys. He didn't want that for himself.
It sounds like he took his craft serious to the point where he didn't want to be typecasted as Bruce Lee's son and as a martial artist, although he could do it.
Exactly. He didn't want that at all. And Dan Inosanto, Bruce Lee's good friend, and the guy that he fought with the nunchucks.
Yes.
With the red headband and the red chucks. When Bruce passed away, Dan personally took it upon himself to train Brandon privately until the time that Brandon was a man, and he still was doing his studies as a man. So Brandon really knew he was bad, man, you know, as a martial artist. In fact, there's a story that he told on a talk show. He said that he had been out one night, you know, when he was living in LA, he had been out one night and he come home and there was an intruder in his home, his apartment or whatever, his flat. And he stumbled upon this guy, and the guy was trying to get out of there, and he's chasing the guy around the apartment, you know, and he turned the lights on the guy. He disabled him and everything and put him down and called the cops. And the cops came and they arrested the guy. But he said when he turned the lights on and the guy looks around and there's pictures of Bruce and Brandon together.
He just froze. Like, oh, whoa, wrong house.
He's like, out of all the houses that I picked to try to rob.
He wanted no smoke. He said, oh, let me just lay on this floor real quick. You go ahead, just call 911. I'm gonna be right here. Don't worry, I ain't moving.
But Brandon honestly said on the interview, the police didn't take him out of there untouched. So yeah, Brandon had done some stuff to the dude. He was hurt. Let's just put it that way. Yeah, allegedly, you know, he hurt the dude. So, you know, but Brandon had this disposition and character as a rebel rouser. He drove around in a hearse. He had a hearse that, you know, how you deck out an old jalopy or whatever. He loved his hearse, and he loved motorcycles and stuff like that. He was a rebel rouser. And
he was a little when you're wealthy and you act a certain way, they don't call you crazy, they call you eccentric.
No, but see, he wasn't wealthy, bro. He wasn't wealthy.
Was it true he used to hang out at graveyards?
Yeah. But
what's that?
A lot of people that are into goth and stuff like that, they would do those kind of things, you know. Brandon was a guy that walked the edge. But to get back to your original statement, because I started embellishing once you said it, when I said, oh, good, funny that you should ask. He had to be transferred from several schools growing up because he was getting into fights all the time. And, you know, it was because when people found out he was Bruce Lee's son, they always want to pick on him and challenge him and all of that kind of stuff. And he never backed down from anything. So he was not a person that, you know, was, you know, meek and mild or whatever. He wore his heart on his sleeve, and, you know, but he was kind of just like any other American kid, you know. It's just his dad happened to be Bruce Lee. And understand that they didn't have wealth when Bruce died. They hadn't come into that yet.
Right.
Bruce had the stardom, but he didn't have the money yet because it was coming, you know?
Right.
And he died before. Now, I'm sure Linda was well invested and taken care of in the sense of insurance policies and stuff like that. But that still didn't put them in a certain space until like years later, you know, when they were able to incorporate Lee's,
like that's quote unquote money that came in from Into the Dragon. Like after that stuff, and when he died, his back work became more popular, I'm assuming, in the States. After
also Raymond Chow purchased the rights to Lee's films and stuff from Linda because he and Bruce had a handshake agreement, believe it or not documented agreement, which was why it was long drawn out in court, almost a decade, for her to get the proper funds and proceeds off of what Lee was supposed to be paid. Raymond Chow was a shrewd businessman.
Wow.
And took a lot of advantage of Bruce Lee. You could basically say that Bruce Lee's success funded Golden Harvest going forward for the next decade, you know. And so Lee's widow was in court against that guy. And of course, Brandon was a part of that process, learning what was going on. They say that he used to spend hours in a special part of their house and going through stories, just reading up everything he could on his dad as he was getting older, you know, and coming into his own manhood.
Right.
You know, I can't even imagine, like, you know, people lose parents all the time. Sometimes when they're young, you know, you lose a parent. But imagine if your parent was somebody that was famous or just coming into the fame, and then they're gone, but you're too young to understand what's going on. And then as you grow older and you learn things, and it's like, you almost feel robbed, right? And then like, and not to say that people who lose their parents early in life don't feel robbed, because you all do, if you've suffered that kind of loss, but it could be specific toward the individual's life and experience of what that loss may be. So just a serious thing, you know. It's a serious thing.
What was his sister's name again?
Shannon.
Okay. Sidebar. Yeah. And I see everybody over there on Rumble. Salute to you guys. We appreciate you.
Rumble people over there. Jamal Davis, Snoopy Mac.
Shannon had got some work off of Dad's name too. You guys may or may not remember in the 90s, Kung Fu and martial arts was making a resurgence in all aspects. You know, they were releasing movies. You know, Brandon was making movies. Jackie Chan released Rumble in the Bronx. None of that movie was filmed in the Bronx at all, but martial arts films was making a resurgence. And there was a TV show that used to come on Channel 4 out here, NBC, called WMAC Masters. And it was a show where these different fighters had different styles. And this got to be on YouTube. And the host of the show was this baby girl, you see, that Linda's holding. It was her. And that's how they marketed it. I'm Shannon Lee, daughter of Bruce Lee, and welcome to WMAC Masters. And they have these choreographed martial arts fights, and they had, like, one guy had a panther, the black guy had a panther, he had fangs in his mouth. I used to watch it. It was pretty good. I don't remember how many seasons it has, but that was her stint that I remember. She had got some work off of that, and it was cool to watch. It wasn't horrible. It was cool to watch, and that was when we had something to watch on Saturday mornings before we went outside, and it was in the early 90s. I just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah, and also speaking about Shannon, she studied the martial arts as well, and is now the proprietor of the Bruce Lee estate. Mm-hmm. And her full name is now Shannon Lee Kiesler. She's 56 years of age now, and she oversees everything regarding Bruce and things regarding her brother. She had a short film career where she played in some action films such as Cage 2 from 1994, High Voltage. She was in Blade, believe it or not. Yeah, she was one of the doctors in the operating room when they brought Blade's mom in.
Oh man, I missed that.
Yeah, she's in there. Shannon is in there. And there was a film that she did in 1998 that's a favorite of mine that I actually have the DVD. It's called Enter the Eagles. Now, let me tell you about Enter the Eagles. I know we're talking about Brandon, but Enter the Eagles is a action film in Hong Kong directed by Corey Yuen. Now, he's of the Yuen clan. So there's Yuen Wu Ping. Corey Yuen is the brother of Yuen Wu Ping, famous martial arts director. Enter the Eagles has Michael Wong is in there too. That's that Michael Wong guy that I told you that was in Brandon's film. Benny the Jet Urquidez is in there.
Benny the Jet, yeah.
Listen, in this film, Shannon, and I was going to get to this. It's amazing. It was a great segue because I've got all of their pictures up here, the whole family. Shannon is fighting in this film. She's doing martial arts.
What?
And she looks great. She was a lot better.
I didn't know she could move. She could move. I didn't know that.
Shannon is a martial artist.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, listen, in Enter the Eagles, bro, she's throwing down like a
Is she as
Michelle
good as
Yeoh or something.
is
Like
she as
a
good as
Michelle
Cynthia Rothrock? Because Cynthia Rothrock
Oh,
was
no,
nice.
no. Listen, let me tell you something. There are men from the Hong Kong film industry that weren't as good as Cynthia Rothrock.
Mhm.
Some of the men that you know who are famous martial artists. Cynthia Rothrock became famous because she could do stuff that some of the men couldn't do.
Wow.
She became a star over there by accident because she was so badass. Cynthia Rothrock is the real deal, brother.
Yeah.
She's the real deal. And I mean, I don't know a female martial artist that has been in film and everything that is who and what she became. She is a true legend. You could possibly call her the Chuck Norris, female Chuck Norris of the martial art film industry, because she was so badass. And she could use weapons. She can use her body. She was something else.
There was a missed opportunity. They should have squeezed it into the what is it? The Expendables. Because I follow her on Instagram. She still looks like she's in good shape. I mean,
she looks amazing. That lady's like 70-something years old, bro.
Yeah. I mean, I would love to have seen her shooting a gun or something.
She probably looked like she's in her late 40s or early 50s. That's what she looks like.
She's on the Instagram. I follow her. She looks great. She looks great.
Yeah. But let me say this. The reason why she probably is not in the Expendables, because the people who produce films like that don't know about her. See, this is how you know, think about it in this way. The bulk of her career was over there. She did make some American low budget, action films, but she really starred in the Hong Kong stuff because, like I said, she could keep up with the choreography and action that they would ask of her.
Right.
She was amazing. She was amazing. And in fact, I should do a show on her on my Kung Fu Film Focus, because she's worth it. An amazing martial artist, the real deal. Getting back to Shannon. So if you ever get a chance, you can check out Enter the Eagles, and Shannon is in there looking her best. There's even one moment in the movie where she's fighting the bad guys, and it's a real physical scene, and she's got on, like, I think she's like wearing all black. And she's got those tight-fitting black pants on and boots, and she's fighting, kicking butt, right? And then she breaks out into this little move where she stands like this, and she looks into the camera, and if she don't look just like her dad, brother, it's like those eyes, it's like you could see Lee in that woman. It's like, wow, that's his daughter right there.
Did that on purpose.
Yeah. And but you know what? She's amazing. Another trivia for you: she's also in Dragon the Bruce Lee story.
Where?
There's the scene when Bruce and Linda go to the Hollywood party where they're supposed to announce that the Green Hornet is gonna get, renewed for another season or whatever. And there's a band singing and playing California Dreaming. The singer is Shannon.
How do I not know this stuff? I missed that.
Yeah, that's her singing. It's a rock band singing California Dreaming. That's Shannon standing there singing. Another fun trivia about Dragon the Bruce Lee story: Brandon, before he passed, because the movie wasn't made yet, was approached to ask if he was interested in playing his dad in the movie.
Of course.
And of course he turned that down.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. just some amazing stuff. But you know, I feel a little funny, Drew, sitting here talking like this because, as I told you, it's no exaggeration. My knowledge about this,
Nah, not at all.
it's like, you know, because Brandon and I were basically the same age.
Man.
You know, we were basically the same age. I can remember when he passed away. I was at work, and my homeboy called me on the phone. He's like, "Yo, man, you hear the news?" It's like, "No, what news?" I'm at work, you know. I'm like, "What's going on?" He's like, "Brandon Lee." I was like, "What about Brandon Lee?" He was like, "He's dead, man." Like,
wow.
Oh no, you kidding me? He was like, "Yeah." Then he started giving me the rundown. I was like, "Oh man," I was no good for the rest of the day because I was like, "Oh no," you know. I was pulling for him. You know what I mean? It was like,
Yeah.
I wanted him to have success. Do you know when he was playing in the films, there was a couple of movies that were being made that went to guys like Johnny Depp got a film that Brandon was up for.
Which film was that?
Don't start me to thinking about it because it was around that time, you know, 21 Jump Street and all.
He was
that.
hot. He was hot right now. He was hot in the streets. Yeah.
Yeah. But you know, Brandon had got a role in Kung Fu, The Next Generation, the TV series with David Carradine, where they were bringing back Kwai Chang Caine. You know, and he was in two of them. It was like Kung Fu, the movie. It was a television film made for TV. And then the series Kung Fu, The Next Generation, where he was playing the son of Kwai Chang Caine, Johnny Caine.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
But he had only made 5 films. And
that's Cynthia Rothrock doing some workout on her Instagram.
Hold on. Trying to pull you back up. I'm sorry about that. Where are you? There you go.
Okay. Oh, that's WMAC Masters with Shannon Lee.
Well,
the Asian guy.
Give me the Cynthia Rothrock thing back because I was trying to.
Okay.
No. Can you put it back on the? Oh! I see what you're doing.
Yeah.
Hold on. That's her.
That's her.
Yeah.
She could do it, man. Look at the general. Look at the general in the. He said some spine on her. She been mine since '93.
Yeah, he been laying back in the cut till you showed up with the spread eagle.
And she looked good, man. That's her. She's in shape.
Yeah. And she's built like she was in the 80s.
That's right.
Fighting on films and stuff. She don't look like she gained no weight or anything.
Nope. She they could have threw in the Expendables to do something, man. Come on now, goddamn. But I'm definitely a fan of hers. And she's if you follow her, official Cynthia Rothrock on Instagram, she's one of those outdoors kind of people. She's always doing something. So I love it. Now this is WMAC Masters. The interesting fact, the Asian fella, let me try and blow this up. The Asian fella on the lower right-hand side, this guy right here, that's Ho Sung Pak. He's Korean. That's the first Liu Kang from the Mortal Kombat video games. That's him.
Yeah.
His name is Ho Sung Pak. That was pretty dope. But Shannon used to host this show on Saturdays. I used to watch it. It's pretty good. It's pretty good, man. But I didn't know she could throw hands. I had no idea. I had no idea she could throw hands. This was dope, man. This is real dope. But getting back to Brandon, yeah, Columbia, she's 68 years old.
Yeah,
she's 68 years old. She moving. Yep. But Brandon, his first film that I did see, I didn't see it on its release. I waited the movie that he had, that he done with Bolo.
Yeah, that was Legacy of Rage.
Legacy of Rage. I remember seeing that. Here's how it worked. That's the movie, but here's how it worked. He looks more Asian in this film.
Yeah.
But how it worked was, I saw Showdown in Little Tokyo before I saw this. I saw this. Showtime aired this like at 2 in the morning, and I was up. Me and my brother was just up flicking channels, and we saw this. We was like, yeah, that's Brandon Lee. We was like, oh, that's Bolo. And we had caught the beginning of the film, and we just watched it. And we didn't know that this was his first film. We just watched it. The choreography, from what I remember, was pretty good, because these were Chinese action choreographers, if I'm not mistaken. They weren't like American, things like that.
Yeah, I've already explained. That's Ronnie Yu, who was a Hong Kong film director at the time, that he was a part of that they call it new wave directors. Like, you remember in the early 90s, we had new wave directors like Spike Lee and what was the guy that did Straight Outta Compton? Not Straight Outta Compton. What was the other film from New York? Oh man, the young black kid that made that movie at the time.
You ain't talking about Hype Williams, right?
No. In the late 80s, there was a movie made by a young black filmmaker out of New York.
I know the kid. Oh man, what was his name? The kid that started that movie Fresh lived around my way. Matty Rich.
There was a guy. He made
Matty Rich.
He made a film in the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s. But he came after Spike Lee, because the Hoodlum brothers came much later too. But during that era, that was a black renaissance period where you had all these young black movie directors and producers. Well, in Hong Kong, Ronnie Yu was one of those. It was him, John Woo, Choi Hark, and all these guys were making these films because they had studied in America, in film school and stuff, and went back to Hong Kong with the knowledge and capability of how to do certain types of special effects and stuff like that. So their movies were really hitting, like A Better Tomorrow and Bullet in the Head and all of those kind of films. You know, it's like there was a renaissance period. Right. And Brandon caught the end of that with Legacy of Rage, because in that film, like I said, you had Michael Wong, you had Bolo was in there, and there was a few other guys that if you watch the film, you would notice, oh, I remember him from some Kung Fu movies. Right. All in there. And it's not a bad film. It's basically a film about, a guy who, Brandon plays a guy, he's got a girlfriend and he's working 2 jobs. He wants to buy a motorcycle. He's taking care of himself and his girlfriend. And he's got a good friend named Michael, played by Michael Wong. Interesting thing about Hong Kong movies, a lot of times the actor will take the same name of his true name and playing basically some version of himself under the same name. It's like, it's really weird. They used to do that a lot.
Jackie Chan did that a lot.
Yeah. So Michael Wong's character is supposed to be Brandon's friend, but he's in with some lowlifes and drug dealers and stuff like that. But Brandon don't know about that. And then he covers Brandon's girlfriend too. He wants Brandon's girlfriend. So he tried to set Brandon up. So Brandon go to jail.
Wow.
And then he can steal his girlfriend.
That's messed up.
Dude, hey.
That's
sound familiar? Shit.
Yeah,
it's
man.
like, hey. But
that's
again,
messed
Legacy
up.
of Rage is something else, man. And so Brandon in prison, he's all he can think about is getting out and saving his girl, because he know his friend Michael is a dirty SOB now, you know. So it's a legacy of rage. He's like, he got vengeance. He wants to get out of it. He wants to break out of the jail. The movie it's an action film. Yeah, Jamal Davis mentioned Mario Van Peebles. Yeah, he was a part of that as well, that renaissance of young black directors. Absolutely. I wasn't trying to exclude anyone. I was just trying to run names off, because there was a period, I want to say, between 1986, 87, all the way through to like 96, 97, that you had this wonderful wellspring of black talent that was producing black culture. And I call it the new black renaissance, because that's exactly what it was.
Now, he had another film called Laser Mission, and I saw it had other names. I've never seen that.
Yeah, I've seen Laser Mission. It's pretty much a straight to video type of deal. Very low budgeted and everything, but it was, once again, those producers, they wanted Brandon in it because his name was good box office. Bruce Lee's son. You know, it's like when they would put the poster out, they would show the images on the poster. It'd probably be a picture of him in some kind of pose with a gun or whatever, and then they're like, Bruce Lee's son, real big letters, and then Brandon Lee in little letters. You know, that's what they used to do. If you listen to Jackie Chan, he would say the same thing. He said, like, in some movies that he played in, like New Fist of Fury, that was 1975 or something like that. They'll say New Fist of Fury, the director Lo Wei directed the film, and then it'll say, in the tradition of Bruce Lee with large letters, then it say, comes a new star, Jackie Chan, and the letters of Jackie be small. It's man. They used to do that, bro. They used to do that.
Marketing, man. That's that, to overcome that, man.
Yeah.
You know, Jackie Chan had to fight really hard. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Brandon Lee. Yeah, I never saw this.
Now he actually did a lot of fighting in this film and a lot of action stunts and stuff. In this movie, like, it was like riding motorcycles and stuff. And it's so funny, man, because it's a cheap generic film, but it was, you know, I guess they were trying to cash in. Bruce Lee's son. The film was made out of some West German producers. It also starred Ernest Borgnine, a lady by the name of Debbie Monahan. She was the female lead, you know, and directed by Bo Davis. I don't even know who that is. I don't know
who the hell that is.
Yeah.
But that actor in The Diamond, what's his name? He looked familiar.
Who?
The actor, his face that's in The Diamond right there?
That's Ernest Borgnine.
Ernest Borgnine, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's Ernest Borgnine.
Yeah, so I missed that. I guess it's probably on YouTube. I guess I'll watch that.
You know? You should be able to pull that up somewhere. Laser Mission.
Yeah, it should be there. Now, 91.
This film had a box office success. It says that In the U.S., this film was a financial success. After Brandon Lee's untimely death in an accident on the set of The Crow, movies like Laser Mission saw a huge surge in video sales because they didn't know about it, because it was an independent film, and they didn't know, and so it was like, oh, another movie Brandon made. Let me check that out, So people. But it's a West German made film, so it's low budget, but well, but it's also known under the title of Soldier of Fortune.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. So after this, he did Showdown in Little Tokyo. Now, let me tell you about this movie. I remember the advertisement for it, and see, this is the part where if we was exclusively on Rumble, we could just play the commercial. You know what I'm saying? Follow us on Rumble because we're gonna be doing a lot of that. My brother and a couple of his friends went to go see this, and when he came home, he said, "Yo, look, man, you gotta go see this movie." I said, "Yeah." He said, "Yo, yeah, you and your boys go see this movie." He said, "It's not Academy Award, but it's over the top bull snitch.
Big time.
You're gonna love it. It's over the top bull snitch, and it's you're getting what you asked for here." So my brother was telling me about it. He told me about eating the sushi off the naked girls. That had me dying. I said, "What?" So we went to go. Of course, I was younger. We snuck in. We snuck into the movies. How did we sneak in? My boys, two of my boys had girlfriends that worked at the theater, and we didn't have cell phones back then, so we had to call them ahead. Right? You going to work today? All right, listen, we're going to catch a such and such show. And we'd stand by the door, and they'd run down and open the door, or send someone to open the door. We'd run upstairs and go inside the theater. Back then, y'all, see, y'all young cats don't know. You buy your tickets online, you go and your seat is reserved. Back then, it was first come, first serve. All right. So we went in, sat down, we snuck in food and everything else. Man, this movie had everything that a young fool would want to watch. This was not Academy Award. This was over the top. The illest pause. I didn't like the line they gave Brandon.
Yeah.
There's a pause moment in here, and I'm like, bro, why they? When that happened, we was on the theater. It was like, why they make Master Bruce Lee's son say this? He ain't had to say that. He ain't had to say that.
You know what it was too, because this was during that time when they were hyping Dolph Lundgren, right? He made a series of films like, remember, He-Man and the Punisher, and
he was a Punisher.
All of that stuff. But Brandon was cutting his teeth into the major market, and they put him in a sidekick type role here with Dolph Lundgren. But just like his dad in the 60s with Van Williams on the Green Hornet, and any other film that he did, like Marley with James Garner, he outshined whoever he was on screen with. Brandon, when you watch this movie, you're looking at Brandon waiting for him to do something.
Yeah.
You're always waiting for Brandon. And they had a few fight scenes in there where he showed some stuff, but they didn't let him shine. But he still had the charisma. You could see that he could be a star.
Yeah.
You could see it. But I have this film in my library too. I got Legacy of Rage. I don't have Laser Mission, but I do have this one and Legacy of Rage. And the other film that I really loved of his was Rapid Fire.
Oh man, this was it right here.
Rapid Fire is
this was the coming out party right here.
Yeah, it was shot in Chicago with Powers Booth. And let me just say this about this film, man. Some of the locations, I still, I can drive by them today. I'll have to go a little bit out of my way to do so, but I know the areas where this movie was shot. And when they were on location in Chicago, they were on location in Chicago. There's a great fight scene in here where he's fighting in that, is that a restaurant? I think it is. Man, it's like Brandon was. This was the movie where you knew this was a breakout film for him.
Yep. When he had to sneak in and he had to put on those bifocals, and I said, look at him looking like his dad.
His dad in the Chinese Connection,
Connection, yeah. And he was speaking fluent Cantonese too.
Yeah.
He said, cousin Chow Chow got me this job. Thank you, big brother. I was like, oh my God, that was funny as hell, man.
Yeah. And he tried to make like he was a goofy, you know. He was like shoulders hunched over and stuff. Just like his dad did when he played the telephone repairman in Chinese Connection.
That was hilarious. His fight scene with what's his name? Everyone's favorite villain. And he died recently. The Asian fellow with the wild hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, he died. What was his name? Because he has a Hollywood star, I just learned.
Yeah, that was
I forget this man's name. But he was everywhere. He was, y'all know who I'm talking about in the chat. He's everyone's favorite villain in every movie.
Chinese dude, yeah.
Yup. And he had cancer.
Yeah.
The dude that played Genghis Khan and Bill and Ted. Yeah, him. What is his name?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of it too.
I didn't know he was nice like that. He had hands. This was the first film where you actually seen him like show his skill set. What is that brother's name? But he died from cancer some time ago, but he has a Hollywood star now. They gave him a Hollywood star. He had a nasty divorce, you know, that sort of thing. But in this film, he was, thank you, Jamal. He was always a villain. He was in Big Trouble in Little China. He was in the gang war. I mean, this guy was everywhere. But they typecasted the hell out of him. But he got a lot of work. And they never changed his hair. I saw one B movie where he had lines. He was the good guy, though. He had a suit and a gun, and he was saving this lady. I said, oh, man, he's a supporting cast in this. Why? He's talking. Speaks perfect English.
Wasn't he in Mortal Kombat 2?
Huh?
Wasn't he in Mortal Kombat 2?
Was he? Shit, he probably was. Shit. Wait, what's his name? This is bothering me. I'm gonna find his name right now. I'm gonna find his name right now.
Yeah, that was Haruyuki Tagawa.
Okay, he's Japanese.
Yeah, he wasn't in Rapid Fire. He was in Showdown in Little Tokyo.
No. Wait, hold on.
Yeah, he was.
Wait, hold on.
Tokyo.
The dude that Brandon fought that I'm talking about. Then that's the wrong guy. Tagawa is the dude that was in Mortal Kombat that died of cancer. I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about this is bothering me. Hold on. I'm gonna find him right now. Hold on.
Asian guy, right?
Yes. Al Leong. Leong. Al Leong.
Yeah.
That's him. That's him.
Yeah, that's the guy that always had the goatee
Yes.
and the hair, right?
Yes.
The long hair. Yeah.
Yes. Matter of fact, I'll share the screen. There you go. That's him. This guy was everywhere in the 80s and 90s. That guy was everywhere. He must have, I swear to God, he must have his films. How many films did this guy? We could do a show on him alone.
Yeah.
Damn.
He's the Samuel L. Jackson of Asians. Because
Look at this.
He played in so many movies, man.
He was he was in so many movies. Look at this. 83. He was in the Twilight Zone movie. He was in Beverly Hills Cop. Martial Outlaw. I remember that. I saw that. He was in the Scorpion King.
Drew, do you remember a show? I shouldn't even say it on the air, because we could do a show on it, because it didn't last very long. Check this out. I'm gonna write it in the group chat for you.
Stormy, he has a documentary about himself. I gotta get this.
Check the group chat.
I got you. I see it.
You remember that?
No.
It starred this guy. I'm gonna write his name in there too.
Oh. What year did that come out?
Early 90s.
I had to have seen it. I'm a connoisseur of this stuff. I just don't remember a lot of
the
names.
Behind the scenes, we'll talk about it more.
Okay.
We could do a show where we mention that, because I'm sure there's people that seen it and want to know what happened.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shelton said he had a stroke. He had a stroke, yeah. Henchman, the Al Leong story. Yeah, I'm gonna check that out.
Look at Shelton. It's not trying to be secretive. I don't want to talk about it over the air yet, because we're gonna present it to you as a show. We're gonna feature it in a show. So it's not like we're holding it from you. It's just that I had to put that on Drew's mind so he'll know what I was talking about. You know,
this man got a documentary, Stormy.
What's the documentary called? Write it in the group chat for me.
It's right there on the screen. It says Henchman.
Oh, Henchman?
Yeah, it's on Amazon. Yeah, I gotta check that.
Okay.
I gotta check this.
Yeah, that's worthwhile. But I'm gonna tell you something. You know, after Brandon passed away, he was one of the guys that talked about how nice it was working with Brandon on the set of Rapid Fire, because he talked about Brandon's professionalism, his knowledge of the martial arts and everything. He said that, you know, Brandon was the real deal. You know, he gave complete acknowledgement and a homage to Brandon.
Yeah, that's dope, man.
See, secretly, there were a lot of people that wanted to see Brandon succeed, man, especially in the Asian community. People think about Bruce Lee being who he was, but the Chinese embraced him more as time went on after he passed away. But for his son, Brandon, they seemed to accept him right away for some reason. They really did. Especially people who were in the industry that were either in a position to work with him or were going to work with him or had worked with him, you know?
Right.
So there was a lot of respect there.
Yeah, Brandon was that dude, man. So after he did Rapid Fire, that was a great film. He did The Crow.
Yeah.
He did The Crow. And again, this was pivotal because Rapid Fire caught the attention of people that like martial arts movies. And like I said, martial arts films or films with martial arts in it that had an element, it was re-emerging in the American market. From Jackie Chan doing Rumble in the Bronx, as I said earlier, to Power Rangers. That was on television. So they were capitalizing off of that. And what they did was they took that grunge element, because grunge rock was really like in style back then. And it fit Brandon because he was also into that gothic thing in his real life. And the story's pretty dark. And he the story was really damn good. The marketing was good, and it created a balance with what was in style back then, and great storyline, and him just fighting back. The Crow didn't focus on martial arts. It didn't focus on it.
Well, it wasn't a martial art film.
It wasn't a martial arts film, exactly. But we knew what to expect. We knew that he's going to be throwing hands with people and handing them their business because it's Brandon Lee. So this, to me, Rapid Fire was putting the world on notice. We got one. This is the next action star. The Crow, this film was putting him over. And
well, the thing is, The Crow was a film that was based on a dark comic graphic. And had he lived, this would have been his franchise.
Right.
That's why you've seen so many Crow films after Brandon, because they were trying to sustain and keep the story alive about Eric Draven, but which was the name of the character that Brandon was playing. But it just didn't work because of what happened with the first film. But I do believe, had he lived, this would have been his joint, just like Wesley had Blade and stuff like that. You know, it's like it was definitely his calling.
Yeah.
And you'd have to say, like, Heath Ledger's Joker and everything, the makeup and stuff like that were born of the elements of what was taken from The Crow. The Crow was really a dark piece, but it had a very good byline, because the character was taken out, he and his girlfriend, by some ravenous villains, you know, and they were a part of that gothic world and everything. But I think it took place like on Halloween or something.
Yeah.
And there was a dark spiritual element of things where sometimes a person gets caught in between the purgatory or something, and the Crow is that person's lifeline to still being around in reality. And in the case of Brandon's situation, Eric Draven, what happened to that character in the film, there was a lot of incompleteness there, and he perished wanting to solve things because of what they had done to his girlfriend and everything. So the Crow brought him back. And the little girl, who was his friend, she recognized it.
Mhm.
Excuse me. And so as the story went on, you could see that the crow could see he was like Brandon's eyes.
Right.
And all of the villains that needed to be brought to justice, the crow sought each and every one of them out, and he was able to come back and handle them. It was a heck of a story.
Yeah.
It was a heck of a story.
Yeah. It was real nice, man. I'm looking at the soundtrack. Every artist on that soundtrack was hot in the 90s.
Yeah.
Rage Against the Machine, Pantera, the Rollins Band, salute to Henry Rollins, Stone Temple Pilots. When they aired it on the commercial on TV, they was playing the Stone Temple Pilots. The song is called Big Empty. Love that song. So I have it on my phone. 9 Inch Nails, love that group. Helmet. I mean, they really with the soundtrack, the writing, the casting, they really caught lightning in the bottle, because the timing of this was just brilliant. It was perfect. And it's unfortunate that this crap happened.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, man. You know, who the F puts a live round? That's just stupid, bro. And you know what we were saying in school? We was like, yo, man, when they redid Game of Death, isn't that like, you know, Billy Lowe, aka Bruce Lee's character? Isn't that how they tried to take him out in Game of Death? I was like, yeah, that is. They blicked Billy Lowe in the face. You know, that's reckless, man. And everyone was saying that shit is foul play, but they brushed it off as an accident. How the hell you put a live round, bro? That wasn't no accident.
But you know what? He's not the. There was someone else that lost their life during that production too. You know, of course, he was the most famous person. He was the star of the film, but there were people injured. There was a lot of cutting corners and doing things that the studio would not approve, but it was like the overseers. It was a weird assortment of circumstances that ended up tragic, you know, and very unfortunate. I remember saying they make shoot 'em ups in Hollywood every day, and it doesn't happen. But when you think about when the movie The Twilight Zone was being made,
oh man,
that guy Vic Morrow, who was a star in that film, what happened to him? Then you realize you can pull back and see the humanity of the inhumane of what can transpire when people are negligent on a film set.
It's all bad, man.
Very unfortunate for Brandon, because had he lived, this film would have put him in a stratosphere just like his dad would have been in the stratosphere had he lived to see the results of Enter the Dragon. A lot of people don't know. Excuse me. A lot of people don't know that Bruce Lee died before Enter the Dragon was released in the theaters. He got a chance to see the finished film in the studio with the executives, but that was without the special effects and music soundtrack and everything. It wasn't completed yet. But the film opened 3 weeks after he passed away.
That's mind-blowing, man. But salute to Brandon Lee, man. Short life, short career, but this movie right here, this movie actually showed his versatility as an actor too.
Yeah.
You know, it really did, and it's a shame. It's a shame, man. I saw the brothers in the chat. They was like, imagine if The Crow and Blade had a crossover. Might have got that. If he was still around, you might have got something like that. You know. Yeah, man. I mean, look, this is it's unfortunate, man, but this is how we give people their credit, man. You know what I mean? If we give people their credit, that's why we do shows like this, man. And Brandon is he's a hidden gem. People don't talk about him much, but this movie, The Crow, dare I say, it's become a cult classic.
Yes.
It become a cult classic. They made a sequel. I really didn't pay attention to it. I remember there's a video game for it, for the PlayStation 1. It was hard as hell. I had it and I was like, man, I don't like this. I just put it aside. I don't know what I did with it. But yeah, shout out to Brandon Lee, man. Shout out to the Lee family. Shout out to Sister Shannon. Young Deezy said it was trash. Okay. I knew I didn't, you know, I ain't care to.
This image here that I'm put up here, I just wanted to say something about this.
Mm-hmm.
When Brandon passed away, the film that's in the image of him that's in black and white to the right, with him looking off into the distance.
Mm-hmm.
When he passed away, this is the image of him that they used when they reported it on the news, and then some articles. I had actually clipped out the article in the Chicago newspaper when it ran a publication. I think I since have thrown it away, but I did clip it and had it for a duration. But I want you to take a look at that photo of him. You see his dad's genetics in his body?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you know when I first saw that photo and image, that's the first thing I thought about.
It's a lot taller than his dad, though.
Well, yeah, Brandon was almost 6 feet tall, almost.
Yeah.
That was that European in him.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you look at his body, and remember, I'm gonna tell you something. Though he studied and trained and everything in the martial arts, he didn't train like his dad, but he trained. But I'm telling you, look at his father's genetics in his body. You ever seen like a dad and his son just has dad's physicality? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Brandon was the same way when he was a little boy. He was a little boy, and Bruce was teaching him how to kick and everything. Brandon just had something genetically in him. So we're talking about, Jamal Davis, that's DNA. But I wanted to call that to everyone's attention because he looked just like his dad and his mom. It's like the perfect combination of the two parents in him. You know, I was really disheartened when I heard that he had passed away, bro. I was like, man, like I said, we were the same age, you know, and it's like when he was 28 years old, he lost his life. It's like, man, I was like, out of all the guys that could go, why that dude? He was just getting ready to start out. It was like there was some other people that were like effing off their careers and everything, but not him, you know. Very unfortunate. Very unfortunate.
It's horrible.
Well, final thoughts, bro, on this show. Are you doing nerds?
No. I'm gonna do it tomorrow. I gotta drive my nephew back up to school tomorrow. So after my live is done tomorrow, I'm gonna hop on the highway.
Okay.
And drive him and come back. So I'm gonna need all my rest tonight. So
be careful on that highway.
Yeah. But again, another slam dunk. That's why I love doing these shows, man. And yeah, we need to do a show on Al Leong because he's a hidden gem. I see him in every movie. He's like, oh, there go that guy. You know, there he go again. There he is. You know, but yeah, man, Brandon.
What's the name of that documentary again?
It's called Henchman.
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna look that up.
It's on Prime, and yeah. You know,
I might watch that this evening.
Yeah, he deserves all his flowers. But yeah, you know, I don't know what's going on with that bloodline. You know, if you watch the movie Dragon, they make reference to it might have been some curse. You know, we don't know how much of that is Hollywood or you know whatever. But salute to the leads. You know, Bruce is an absolute legend, and I feel that Brandon was a legend in the making. You know, had he had lived, we just saw him crossing over with Van Damme, or you know, he might have been running around in these Marvel films as somebody. You know, we don't know. It's just horrible to see it cut short. So this is how we pay homage to him and what he's done. You know, this is why we do these shows. So thank you, Stormy. You know, this was a dope selection. So this was pretty dope. I like this.
Yeah, and it was in my book, you know, as one of the ones, because we got tons of those written down. They say, hey, write this down. Write it down.
Yeah.
This one was one that was written down. I had thought of it months ago and had written it down. So as we talked today, I was like, hey, how about doing that, you know? But
write this down. Who was your favorite James Bond?
Now, you know, we did do a show on James Bond.
We did. I don't think we ever solidified, you know, we could put up a poll on that. Who's your favorite? Yeah, your favorite James Bond. How many James Bond we had? Like 9 of them?
I'm not sure. I forget. About 9 or 10.
Roger Moore was my era. That was my James Bond. But, you know, some people may feel different. But Roger Moore, he had all the gadgets.
You know who was working his way to being mine, but messed up with the last film? Daniel Craig. And the reason being is because he stated that he wouldn't do the film unless Bond dies. That's not his call. That's not his call. And I'm like, because he didn't want to play him no more. But it's like, dude,
bro, you can't kill James Bond.
No. And I was so pissed off when I saw that. But he was good as Bond. Even though when he was hired, I was like, this dude ain't gonna be Bond. Because I remember him in Road to Perdition.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see Road to Perdition?
I did.
And he was that guy that Tom Hanks was, you know, had trouble with and everything.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
They want to make that guy James Bond?
It was off, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But it worked?
It worked because he has a rugged look. He's not a handsome dude. He's just a dude that look like he been through ish. You know what I'm saying?
Write this down, Stormy. Write this down.
Okay.
Casting that actually worked out. I'll give you a great example. When they were bringing back in 1989, when they were bringing back Batman, and they said, we're casting, drumroll, Michael Keaton. I was like, why?
Yeah, right.
Why him? And it worked out. I'll give you another example. Predator 2. We was all waiting for Predator 2. We was like, oh man, who they gonna get? Is it gonna be Arnold again? Or we need a big muscular dude to fight the Predator? Danny Glover. We was like, what? Why? But it worked. So that's why I'm here and not in Hollywood. Because obviously I don't know what the hell I'm doing. But it worked. So there's a lot of movies where the casting, you're like, why this person? And it worked.
Now listen, that's part one.
Oh.
Part two is casting that didn't work
Didn't
out.
work. Yes. Yes. Part 1 and part 2. We got to do those back to back.
Right.
Casting that worked and casting that didn't work. Surprisingly worked. Oh man, that's gonna be a good show.
Casting that worked that I just didn't see coming. And I can't talk about that too much because we gotta save it for the show. But one was, for me, was Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. Mm-hmm. I thought that was horrible. You know, going into it, because I had seen her in the Fast and Furious film, you know, and her character actually got, you know, deleted in there and everything. And she was so skinny and everything. I was like, they want her to be Wonder Woman? But by the time she worked out, she put on some strength and everything, I thought she was perfect. When I saw the Wonder Woman film, I ain't talking about when she showed up in Batman versus Superman. I'm talking about when I saw her own film. I was like, Gal rocked it, bro.
That threw me off too. I was like, her? But it worked. But yeah, we're gonna have fun with that.
Yeah.
We're gonna have fun with that, man.
So yeah, we'll
man,
do
salute.
that. Let's do that one next week. The
okay.
casting that worked out.
Okay.
And then the week after that, we can do the casting.
Right. See? Already set up.
Yeah.
That's
what it means to be.
That's what it means to be a content creator, not a content hater.
Yeah,
original stuff here.
And it's like, look here, I'm gonna show you something. This is page 2 of all the stuff I've written down for us. Some of these we've done already. I put a little black dot next to what we have done. But this is page 2. But page 1 looks the same. But you know, see, we go through this stuff, man. You guys, we don't just be sitting here blowing smoke, man.
Nah, this is work. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna get out of here.
I'm getting out too. You ain't leaving me.
Yo, salute to y'all, man. And I'll see y'all in the AM. And we definitely gonna see you back here next Monday, man. Y'all make sure y'all roll over to Rumble, because there's gonna be some shows that's not gonna be on YouTube. You're gonna have to come. We're gonna direct you over to Rumble. We might go, if we can figure out how to go live on YouTube for like the first 10 minutes. Y'all gotta come to Rumble to get the whole effect of the show that we do here, because YouTube restricts us too much with music and videos and things like that. So if you want to have an unedited, great experience, come follow us with this show on Rumble. For real.
Yeah, we will. And don't leave yet. Just hang tight.
Okay.
You know, I told you I wanted to tell you a couple things.
Okay.
But yeah, we're gonna get on out of here, you guys. I appreciate everybody that tuned in to check us out this evening. This was a heck of a show. Salute to the Lee family and Brandon, who was a very strong talent that was taken away far too soon, just like his dad was. And you know, we just wanted to pay a little homage and acknowledgement to a great talent that graced us for a very short time. And with that being said, we're going to get on out of here. I want to say shout out to the mighty LDBC, and we will catch you guys next week for the next one. We're going to talk about casting that worked out. Yeah, so catch you guys on the next one. Smash that like button on the way out if you didn't on your way in, and we will see you guys next week. Peace.